Okay, in this lesson I'm going to be teaching you about literal equations. And basically what a literal equation is, it's an equation that you can't actually solve because there's too many variables. For example, if I had area equals length times width, I could get the width by itself by dividing both sides by the length. If I divide both sides by the length, I end up with the width is equal to the area divided by the length. So you can write equations other ways depending on what variable you want to get by itself. So that's exactly what we're going to do here right now. We're going to try to solve for b. Okay? Now, we can't actually solve for it. We can only write it with the b by itself. So just like every other algebra problem we've done so far, we're going to make our bar. We're going to chunk this. And we're trying to get the b by itself, right? That's the whole point of this. So I have to get rid of that negative 5x. What's the opposite of a negative 5x? A positive 5x. Add a positive 5x to this side. And you're left with b is equal 6x plus 5x is 11x. And that's it. You just wrote the equation in terms of b instead of x. All right, let's try another one. If I have base times height over 2 equals area, well, that's the area formula for a triangle, and I want to solve for b, how am I going to do that? Well, I need to get b by itself, so I need to get rid of that 2. So how do I get rid of that 2? Well, I could double both sides, right? Double that side. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm left with base times height. And 2 times a times 2, a times 2 is 2a. Then I want to get the b by itself, so I need to divide by h. Divide by h, divide by h, and I get the base is equal to twice the area divided by the height. Pretty simple, right? All right. Now these next problems are the ones I think are actually going to really help you out later on. Next chapter, like I said, we're going to get into linear equations, which is graphing lines. And very soon in that class, we're going to start solving for variables like x and y. So in this problem, we're going to solve for x. So we're going to get x by itself. All right. So to get x by itself, what am I going to have to do? Well, I'm going to have to multiply both sides by 5 first. All right. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so I'm left with 2x plus 1 is equal to 5y. Chunk this. I need to get rid of the 1. The opposite of a positive 1 is a negative 1, so add a negative 1 to both sides. I'm left with 2x equaling 50, what's that? 5y minus 1 is 5y minus 1. Then I need to divide by 2, and I need to divide all of that by 2, and I'm left with x equaling 5y minus 1 over 2. That's really bad. I can't read it there. So x equals 5y minus 1, all of that over 2. We just wrote that equation in terms of x. Now let's do one that I think is actually useful, writing things in terms of y. Solving for y, well, I guess we can't do that on that problem because it's already done. So I guess we're going to throw example 4 out. So let's go down to example 5. You may ask me in class about that one. I may have changed that problem up. So check it out in class. All right, example 5. In this problem, we want to solve for r. So that 1 plus r is in parentheses. I could distribute the p, but it's actually smarter in this case to divide both sides by p first. So I'm left with 1 plus r is equal to t over p. All right? I want to get r by itself, so I need to get rid of the 1 by adding a negative 1 to both sides. Add a negative 1 to this side. I'm left with r equaling t over p minus 1. And that's it. Pretty simple, right? All right, last example. In this case, I want to solve for k. And this is going to take us 1 second because all I have to do is to get k by itself, I have to get rid of the 2m. What's the opposite of a positive 2m? A negative 2m. So subtract 2m from this side, and I'm left with k equals 6y minus 2m. And that's it. Literal equations. You don't really understand why they're so important yet, but next chapter in linear equations, this will become a very, very important concept. Have fun with it.